The Speaker's Apprentice. After college, Shayan Qurbanian worked in a hotel. He wrote letters about the place to a girl in Texas. He hadn't set out to write about the place. He had set out to write love letters. But it seemed like the best way to do it once he started was to show her the place where he thought of her. He wrote to her about the football fan club that had come for a banquet and about the religious group whose members spoke in tongues. "There's all kinds of people in the world, Lucy," he wrote, "and I like you." She was a friend of his cousin's and they had kissed at a party. One day there was a talk in the main ballroom by a motivational speaker. Cheyenne listened as he arranged water pitchers in the back of the room. He was already thinking of Lucy and of writing the letter in his head. I don't know, he thought. The people don't look unmotivated. They were certainly motivated enough to come here early in the morning and take notes and listen closely. Me, I'd like to listen to someone who didn't look so polished. There's a difference between being polished and confident. I don't know what it is yet, but maybe a really confident guy would get on stage and say, "Beats me, what do you guys think?" I don't know how well that would go over, but I'd pay to see a guy like that. That might actually be fun. For all the different groups I've seen in this place, I can't shake the notion that there can be something nice about a group of people together in a big room. I haven't seen it yet, but I think it can be. It always looks like it can be to me, right up until the start of the event. That's why I like to come in and watch everybody during the breaks. The whole thing doesn't look so bad then. He was too busy writing the letter to notice the fellow next to him saying hello. "Hi, buddy." Cheyenne looked to see that it was the speaker's apprentice. There were two of them. They weren't assistants because they did everything the speaker did, just on a smaller scale. "Can I ask you a question?" "Okay." "Would you like to be retired at 30? "Retired at 30? "Yes." "That seems like a very young age to retire." The apprentice got very excited. "Why not? Why not shoot for something like that?" "Well, to answer your question, I don't want to be retired at 30. "You don't?" "No." The apprentice looked at Cheyenne as though this was the first time somebody had ever said no. "I'd like to be doing something," Cheyenne said. "You could do whatever you wanted if you were retired." "What I mean is, I don't dream of retirement." Cheyenne thought then that the apprentice would walk away. It seemed like non-retirement dreams were past his apprenticeship. "What do you dream of then?" "Well, there's a girl. She's in Texas, though. Also, I dream of how it would be if everybody had to work in a hotel, at least for a little while." He laughed. "That would never happen." "Aren't you not supposed to say that?" He smiled. "You have to be realistic." "Well, you wanted to know what I dream of. That's one thing. It's not bad working in a hotel. I've seen a lot of interesting things. I just think that if everybody had to spend a little while in their life working in a hotel, it would be a different thing. Everybody would come in and say, 'Hey, there's the old lobby, just like the one I used to pass through.' And of course, they'd look at the people there a lot differently. They wouldn't just pass by them because they would know that used to be them. So they'd stop and chat for a few minutes. And the manager wouldn't yell at them because they'd be busy catching up with all the old managers passing through." "Nothing would get done," the apprentice said. "Well, I grant you that things would move more slowly, but that would be all right. The events could overlap anyway, if everybody had something in common. The people in the football fan club could let in the people who speak in tongues. Maybe they could all hear some motivational speaking, too. The way you're describing it, it doesn't sound like they're going to need it." "Well, it can't hurt. They're all going to be there in the room anyway." The speaker wrapped up and gave a quick look to both apprentices on either side of the room. "Good luck," Cheyenne said. "Thank you," the apprentice said. The next day, Cheyenne was putting out the morning coffee when he saw that only the speaker and the other apprentice had come down to the ballroom. "Where's your buddy?" Cheyenne said to the other apprentice. "Mike?" the fellow said. "Yes. He's staying back today." "What happened?" "This is a tough business, tougher than I had thought." "What happened?" "He said something he wasn't supposed to say." Cheyenne had a sick feeling. He looked at the speaker, arranging his notes at the podium. He looked like he hadn't said, "Beats me, what do you guys think?" in a very long time. "What did he say?" Cheyenne said. The fellow looked at him. He looked for an angle and saw none. He said, "How come we don't ever motivate people to do anything together?" Cheyenne smiled. He thought of Lucy at the party. She had looked so beautiful. Of the 3 letters he had written to her, she had replied to none. He had a good feeling about this one. Not so much that she would write back necessarily, but that one way or another he would know where he stood after this one.